Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving deep into a recent horror movie release that's been on my mind ever since I saw the trailer, and that is Together, which just came out this year. Actually, I think is currently still in the theatre. So if you've been looking for something fresh, genuinely unsettling, or just want to know if this one is worth your hard-earned time and money, then you have come to the right place. Together is a chilling psychological horror film that burrows under your skin with an unsettling sense of intimacy. Directed by Michael Shanks, the film tackles themes of grief, codependency, and toxic relationships, while slowly descending into pure nightmare fuel. This movie blends relationship drama, cosmic horror, Cronenberg-style flesh corruption, and a hell of a lot of emotional trauma. We follow long-term couple Tim and Millie, and they end up driving out of the city to start a new chapter in the countryside. Their relationship is slipping. We immediately feel this awkward silence, those little passive-aggressive digs, and, the kind that every long-term relationship can sink into when life becomes routine and full of resentment. There's actually a very awkward proposal scene at the start of the movie in front of all of their friends during their farewell party, out of the city, and it was very painful to watch. So straight away we get classic domestic horror vibes. You got creaking pipes, you got flickering lights, and of course the deep emotional tension bubbling between the two of these characters, and I feel like a lot of viewers who see this movie will be able to relate to this couple. Now, Millie, she ends up getting a job teaching at an elementary school, and she teaches English in the new town. And then you've got Tim, who is pursuing his dream of becoming a rock star. Later on in the film, while hiking near their home, they both end up falling into a cave during a rainstorm, and they end up deciding to camp inside this cave for the night. Tim ends up drinking water from a pool in this cave, not realizing that this water in the cave is about to ruin his life. You see, during the very opening scene, we witness two dogs drinking from this very cave, and then these two dogs, they end up merging together in proper old school fashion body horror style, and I'm talking like John Carpenter's The Thing, because this is what I thought of after seeing this scene. So this water in the cave has some strange demonic energy that merges people together, and after Tim drinks this water, this is when the fun begins. As you've probably seen in the trailer and, some of those movie posters, Tim and Millie start to merge together. It starts off with little bits of their skin sticking together, and when they pull apart, it's really painful, and then they're left with like burn marks, and as the movie progresses, things just get worse and worse and worse. There's actually a scene, oh god, they end up having sex in a school bathroom, and when they finish, Tim can't pull his doodah out of Millie. They are literally stuck together. Then you got this kid who's knocking on the door, wanting to get in to have a shit, and then it's actually quite a hilarious scene to watch, but also very painful. I was holding my own doodah while watching this scene, and you actually see the imagery. Like, you see Tim ripping his doodah out of Millie's vagina. Yes, they go there. Yes, you see it. Things get even worse from there on in. There's quite a few harrowing, stomach-churning scenes, which I don't really want to spoil for you guys, but if you saw The Substance last year, then you can sort of compare it to that ever so slightly. I don't think that this movie is as gnarly as The Substance, but it has its moments. Everything from like self-mutilation, skin joining, eyeballs joining, tongues merging. There's plenty of body horror to see in this film, and when they happen, the music really gets really, really intense, and it really gets your heart racing a little bit, because you honestly don't know where this is going, what is going to happen next. So yeah, I had a brilliant time with this movie. When it finished, it was like getting off a roller coaster. Tim also has these nightmare scenes scattered throughout the film, and it all stems from his childhood, which we learn about early on in the film, and Some of his nightmares, oh my god, they were quite scary. I think there was one nightmare scene where I actually physically jumped, and yeah, I really enjoyed them. Now, I think that one of this movie's biggest strengths is its relentless pacing and suffocating atmosphere. This isn't like just a jump scare fest, even though I just mentioned one. It, instead it builds a creeping sense of dread that slowly tightens its grip, making you feel as trapped and vulnerable as this couple on screen. There's also like a messed up creature feature scene, which once again reminded me of John Carpenter's The Thing. That was a great scene. I flippin' loved it. I won't ruin it for you guys if you haven't seen it yet, but it's really, really good. The effects were fantastic. I was very impressed. Now, with that very last ending scene, which, don't worry, I'm not gonna, ruin it for you guys. However, I was not impressed by this ending scene. I found it a little too predictable and a little bit, what am I talking about? I found it very underwhelming. Don't get me wrong, the rest of the movie is great, but you think they would have come up with a way better ending than what we got, and that's all I'll say on that one. If you've seen the movie, then you know what I'm talking about. I think Dave Franco and Alison Brie both did a fantastic job in their roles as Tim and Millie, even though that you could see that their relationship just wasn't working from the very start of this film. You kind of really wanted them to sort their shit out and make it work. Even when they kept fighting to stop the merging scenes, both of them were like trying to help each other, but at the same time they didn't want to get too close to each other because of the merging and the skin touching, and they both have that protectiveness for each other even when things get really bad. So I thought it was just a really nice, lovely dynamic between these pair. So all in all, Together has its fun popcorn horror moments, and then all of a sudden it gets dark, very dark and tragic and deeply unsettling. But if you love body horror, emotional storytelling, and horror that really does get under your skin rather than jumping out at you, this one is for you. Actually, guys, it is definitely worth at least one watch. So guys, make sure you go and see this movie. I am going to give this film a rating of 7 out of 10. Beautifully acted, sickening shots, and a powerful metaphor about relationships that should have ended but didn't. But it was the ending that brought that score down just a little bit. So guys, have you seen this movie yet? If you have, then please let me know all of your thoughts in the comments box below. And guys, that is a wrap for today. Thank you all for stopping by and watching today's video. Make sure you do smash that subscribe button, stay safe out there, and I'll see you all in my next video.